Here we go. Giddy up.
Willie Percy.
Elise Anderson.
And Kim.
It's time for...
Hey, what happened?
What happened?
What happened?
What happened?
What the hell happened?
Hey!
What happened?
So what happened is we just go over the events that took place this week that caught our interest, that we found amusing or interesting in some way. I think we start with the football games that took place over the weekend. Kim, how much money did you lose?
It was an owie one.
Kim bets with her heart.
$100 American.
$100 American. Who were you betting on?
I was betting on Kansas.
Kansas City Chiefs against Tom Brady. And
it was such a crazy game. I mean, that first half, it was 14-0 for the Patriots. And I just thought it's over. And they came back in that second half, and it was like, oh, there's hope, man.
And then Tom Brady got a hold of you again and gave it to you.
Kim, come on, I need that $100.
Yeah, I need another ring. I need some more jewelry.
The story of the referee standing just behind him off the field.
I hadn't heard this until today.
And saying, I got your back, Tom. And then the next play is the interference call roughing the passer, which was like malarkey.
Steams my clams,
move over, Deflategate.
Your clams have been steamed a few times.
Yes.
They're getting wrinkly, those clams. So anyway, you can't argue how great Tom Brady is.
He's a great player. It's a great team. Yeah. But I'm just sick and tired of watching the Patriots at the Super Bowl.
And now we'll go to, you're going to watch them again for number 53. And then we go to the Saints and the Rams. And I was rooting for the Rams. So I didn't mind the call/non-call, which was an interference call near the end of the game. All the Saints fans are pissed off about it. Mm-hmm. And there is now a guy who is suing, making a class action lawsuit against the NFL and Goodell.
For $100 million.
Yeah, he says, you either the Saints go play in the Super Bowl or you owe us $100 million.
Who's us?
Like that's going to
happen. The general public?
Yeah, anybody that's a Saints fan. New Orleans in general.
I feel the same for Kansas with the coin toss. It's just ridiculous. You wonder why they're losing so much people, the audience that they have as far as NFL. People aren't watching anymore. They're just sick of this bullshit.
Well, football is the one kind of sport where when they go to a sudden death playoff, it's pretty much the flip of the coin. You get the ball first and
you're
done.
Touchdown.
Yeah. As soon as it's Tom Brady, you just go, well, that's the game.
Yeah. First down, touchdown.
Get your bag and leave.
So we all agree there should be some other course of action taking place.
Well, like in the NHL, for example, they don't follow the same rules as regular league play when they get to the playoffs. So, we know overtime is 3-on-3, 5-minute period, but it doesn't go that way, right? You make it a little more fair, so it's not decided that way.
Yeah.
Like that's how it should be when it's so huge, when what's on the line is so huge. You should actually just play maybe another quarter.
I think the same thing when they settle international hockey.
Yeah.
And they go to the shootout. I think it's unfair because that's an individual effort.
Absolutely.
It's a team sport.
And it's a team sport. Mm-hmm. So we're all sort of in agreement with that.
Exactly. And I lost money.
All right. This was the week of the Super Wolf Blood Moon.
Please believe me. Believe what? That tomorrow night, beneath the full moon, I'll sprout hair and fangs and eat people?
You'd be surprised what horrors a man is capable of.
Don't look at me.
Be surprised at what horrors a woman is capable of. Did you see the Super Blood Full Moon?
I won't tell you how old I am, but it's probably the best one I've ever seen. It was a cold, crisp night, not a cloud in the sky. It was just beautiful. It was breathtaking.
And for a woman in her mid-30s.
Thank you.
It was a...
I'll give you $100 now.
She's out $200. We do a thing called the mashup. Now, Billy Idol is rolling around, and who's he playing with?
His guitarist that he's always played with, Steve Stevens.
And they're playing smaller shows, not big, huge stadiums, smaller shows. Cool place to see them.
They're having fun.
Yeah. And speaking of having fun, we do a thing called the mashup. Speaking of the mashup, we do the morning show at Rock 101 in Vancouver. So anytime we mention something about the show, it's for the morning show at Rock 101. So anyway, we do a thing called the mashup. We get music from one song, lyrics from another song, we put them together. Because of Billy Idol on tour, we thought, well, let's mix Billy Idol with
Bob Marley.
Is that all that glitters gold? And the story had never been told. So now you see the light. Hey, you stand up for your right. Because in the midnight hour, stand up for your right. Yeah.
I love it.
I know. I like when they can mash them together so well that the chorus is both songs together.
Yeah.
They play off each other.
Yeah. We receive phone calls of support and encouragement. Like,
Hey,
yeah.
what do you got? I don't understand that at all.
Okay.
You just made 3,000 burnouts form a mosh pit and then forget why they were there.
Well said.
Okay. Yeah. And this guy.
I would have never thought when you sped Bob Marley up, he'd sound like Lemmy Kilminster from Motorhead.
Did he sound like Mr.
There's some growl, but Billy's known for his growl too.
Is Lemmy not your one of your favorite rock and roll stars of all time?
He surely was, yeah. He's
Your cat's
badass.
named Lemmy for Pete's
That's right.
sake.
Yeah.
Okay, have we got a picture of your Halloween costume? Can we get a picture?
Sure.
Okay,
yeah.
put the picture up now. That's how good she looks.
Yes.
That's not Lemmy.
That's a Halloween costume.
That's Elise Anderson.
I love
That's Elise.
to wear facial hair.
Kim doesn't have a choice. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I said you were really young earlier, so I get a shot in. Come on, give me a break. Okay. Do we want to take on that moment that we all kind of? It's not a funny moment when we all, for the first time, saw the photograph of the indigenous Native American and the teenager wearing the red MAGA hat.
Make America great again.
And he had a smile on his face, and the caption was, "These kids were ridiculing this Native American." Mm-hmm. Horrified.
I was so pissed off when I saw this originally. I was like, is this what it's come down to? You know, we're just going to attack people like this, you know, just right out on the street.
It was so disconcerting. It was disheartening. It was horrifying. It was a lot of things that are not good, any of them. And then Elise, you were like, well, hang on a second.
Yeah, I have, sort of learned maybe the hard way in recent years to just do a little bit more research. You can't judge a book by its cover. You can't judge a situation by a picture. And so sure enough, there wasn't just the two groups, and it wasn't the boy blocking his way, and it was three groups sort of all yelling at each other. The indigenous group decided they were going to walk through the middle of the two sort of hostile groups, MAGA Hat and the other group. And
what the other group was yelling was
horrible.
Nasty, horrible.
They were the worst.
Horrible.
And they didn't even show up in the story.
No, they get off.
That was the craziest part.
Totally. And the indigenous fellow walks up to the young boy, and he's beating the drum in his face, and he said, "I'm doing this for a peace chant. It says peace. I'm trying to break it up." And, he's 15, 16 years old. Do you think he knows that you're doing a peace chant, or does he just think that there is somebody aggressively playing the drum and screaming in his face?
Now, when we got the kid's side of the story, he said, "Hey, my character is being assassinated around the world, and here's my side of the story."
He's getting death threats. His parents are getting death threats.
And when you read it, you were like, whoa.
Well, because, and it's interesting to see how fired up people are over a face. So now you can't even smirk, smile, whatever it may be. He didn't say a word.
Yeah, Kim got it right, though. It wasn't just his face.
It was the hats that did it for me.
It was the hat, and for that, it gave us a whole different connotation of who this kid is, what he believes, what he thinks, what he's saying to that guy. You just see the MAGA hat, and you go,
Totally.
I've chosen my side.
Yes.
I'm ready to fight.
But everybody is entitled to their own opinions.
True.
This is free speech. Like, we already know there's a lot of people who are on that side of the coin. The United States elected him. Like, the population is behind him.
Some of the population.
Yeah. But,
36%.
If we want respect for our opinions, then it has to go both ways.
Yes, absolutely. And so then, was it...
It's Trevor Noah.
Trevor Noah from...
The Daily Show.
So this is what he said about that event.
I know it's a crazy statement to make, but I feel like that's what the national mall is supposed to be about. People go there and protest, say whatever they want to say, and then you go home. I think that was a great display of all First Amendment, no Second Amendment. It's a good time.
It was like exactly what I wanted to say, you're there to protest, and people shared their thoughts.
Do your research.
On our show, we do a thing called Signs. Real signs from around the world. Put a smile on your face. This one comes from Kings Trail Animal Hospital. It's on Old Kings Road in Jacksonville, Elise's favorite state. Florida.
I love it.
And the sign at this animal hospital says, "Your dog only needs the balls he fetches. Low-cost neutering."
That's nice and true. It's true.
They were here earlier. I'm pretty sure I left with them. I don't know where they went. Elise, you had the story about the trouble that the shutdown of the government in the United States is causing. I mean, aside from a whole bunch of areas that are troubled.
Yeah, it's the TSA workers.
The TSA at the airport. So with the government shutdown, turns out the TSA Transportation Security Administration is asking passengers now to frisk themselves. I think I found something.
I don't know.
No, I did. I think I found something.
Where?
Did you check over here?
You should check, see if you can find something
Check
too.
over here again.
It was damn cold in eastern Canada.
Really can't stay.
Babe, it's cold outside.
So cold.
Yeah, parts of Niagara Falls actually stopped moving.
What was the temperature, by the way?
They were saying in some parts of the coldest parts of Canada, it was minus 50 with the wind chill.
Wow.
So my father, who lives in...
The Winnipeg.
Say hi to Dad.
Hi, Daddy-O.
Hey, Don.
Hi, Dad. So he sent us a note and said, never mind Eastern Canada, here in Winnipeg, there are parts of me that have stopped moving.
Yeah, but that was like 10 years ago.
You know where to find her, Don.
Love you, Dad. So, okay, Kimmy, you may be looking for or you may have a new job.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
leave us.
Okay, so explain to us what this new job may be.
I will be an ambassador for the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile.
Do you like how she says it? I will be.
I will be.
We're not
I'm
making
going to
this
keep
up.
saying this. Yes.
Kim actually applied for this job because it's a childhood dream.
Twice.
Okay, so her first one was rejected. She had
Another one in there.
What will your duties be?
I will be an ambassador. I will go from city to city. I will be driving the Wienermobile, and I will be doing big queen waves, and I will go to events in different cities. And it is a year-long job. They pay for your, sleeping wherever you have to. You don't have to sleep in the vehicle, apparently. Clothing allowance, all sorts of stuff.
Okay, so you'll be gone for a year.
You guys are so happy.
No,
when I said
no.
when that was said that I'd be gone for a year, you guys looked like you were dancing like pixies in the forest.
Listen, you applied twice, and Elise and I sent in reports of encouragement and support.
Lots of them.
Please.
So many.
Hey, sing a little bit of that Oscar Mayer song.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Sounds a little different than it
Playing
did when I was a kid.
that. Playing that in the vehicle.
We do a feature called Just the Headlines.
Give me the news, read it in the Sunday papers.
And one of the headlines that caught our attention this week came out of the National Post. And the headline was, Cow that escaped Alaska rodeo and vanished into Anchorage Park, still on the run 6 months later.
Power to the cow.
He's on time and in tune.
Yeah, we're rooting for the cow. Go, cow, go.
There was a great shot in the National Post, and it was the cow from a distance. And he was looking over his shoulder.
Not today.
Making good his escape.
I see you.
Okay, we should probably mention, what is the Facebook challenge?
It's the 10-year challenge. So people have taken photos of themselves 10 years previous and then one on the day of, put them side by side, and kind of just seems like, I'll take it. It's positive, but it's just a way for people to be like, oh my gosh, you haven't aged a day.
It's your chance to kiss somebody's butt on Facebook.
Cheap fishing for compliments.
It is.
Sure.
Okay, so one of our most amusing one came from Keith Richards.
You got my heart.
Sing it, Keith.
You got my soul. You got the silver. You got the gold. You got them diamonds from the mines. But that's alright. It'll buy some time.
Is that live?
Yeah, live. Yeah.
Wow.
That's,
I saw him do that live, and it didn't sound like that.
They probably got the best one they could find.
Yeah, there was a break in time when Keith played some songs, and you were like, Keith, okay.
Yeah, it's actually Ronnie playing slide guitar there.
Nice.
And Keith singing with no guitar. He's just standing there singing. Maybe that was it. He can concentrate.
Yes.
on getting it right.
Okay. He put up the picture. Yeah.
So it was it a 10-year before and after? Or?
What was the picture? What were the pictures?
Well, he did more of a century
challenge?
Yeah, Centurion. Yes.
So 1919 and 2019.
Except he looks exactly the same in both pictures.
I think he looks older in the first one.
Who's going to be here after the nuclear war?
It'll be cockroaches.
And Keith.
Yep.
Playing slide guitar. All right. Hey, speaking of, the biggest bands in the world, Rolling Stones and the Beatles.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the Beatles announced he's playing in Canada.
Yeah, one date.
Who?
Paul.
So Paul McCartney's going to play in Vancouver.
BC Place.
Just the one show.
Yeah.
Do you remember when he was in Winnipeg? Do you remember what he did?
No.
He was riding his bicycle along the riverbank, and there was a couple getting married, and he got off and took some pictures with the couple getting married.
That.
Yeah, and they were like, Paul McCartney.
Paul's great at that stuff, though.
Take a photo. All right, okay.
Yeah.
So this was kind of cool. We learned where he got the name for Eleanor Rigby for the song.
There's a kind of strange story about that because I like the name Eleanor. We've been working with an actress called Eleanor Braun in the Beatles film Help. So I like the name Eleanor, but I was looking for this Eleanor Papa to make the rhythm. So I was looking for this nice surname, and I happened to be in Bristol, and I saw a shop that said Rigby. So I thought, oh great, Eleanor Rigby. So now I had the name of my main character. But then years later, somebody else is researching this, and they said, in that village where John used to live, there's a graveyard in the church, and there is a gravestone there to an Eleanor Rigby. So I said, did I subconsciously know that name? Why would I go around searching for it? I don't know. I think it's maybe a coincidence, but there is a gravestone in Liverpool, in a place called Woolton, where me and John met, that does say Eleanor Rigby.
That's a good story.
Such a good guy. Pretty random. That would be freaky.
Do you want to do the phone book one?
Sure.
Okay.
Just proving once again how easy it is for Paul to
not a problem.
Write up a song.
In the same song, he sings about Father Mackenzie.
Father Mackenzie in the song. I originally had Father McCartney, but when I came to finish it up with John, I brought it to John, and we were playing it around, and I said, I don't want to call this Father McCartney because it's like my dad. It just is a bit confusing. And he said, no, it's fine. So I said, no, I don't like it. So I said, okay, let's change it. So we got the phone book, and we just went right down to sort of McCartney. And the next one was like Mackenzie. I said, that's better.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Tough work. Phew. Got another one done.
Somebody just learned, it's me.
Oh, my God.
That's me. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. We do there was scams going around, and this one is the Google scam.
Causing customers to think you're no longer open for business. Press 1 now to check the status of your Google listing. If you're the business owner, press 1 now.
Sounds legit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we get this guy.
Thank you for holding. This is Matt, and I'm here to assist you with your Google business listing. Am I speaking to the business owner?
Yeah.
How are you today, boss?
I'm good, Matt. How are you?
Pretty good, man.
What's going on? What's the trouble?
Your Google business listing has not been claimed or verified, and it's causing your business to be displayed improperly online. Are you aware of these issues?
No, I had no idea.
Are you CM or CFMI FM 101 Vancouver?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Matt. It's not very polite.
And he's out. As soon as he figured out, hey, wait a minute.
Like, hey, boss.
I actually know what the hell's going on. Okay, we're almost out. So here's where we're going to end. Speaking of scams, the Fire Festival.
Oh,
yeah.
So you saw it on Netflix, Kim?
Saw a couple of days ago, yep.
Elise, you saw it on Netflix. I think you were the first of us to watch it.
You were the one that told us to watch it.
Yeah, well, we'd all paid attention to this festival, sort of what was happening, and well, it went through all its turmoil, and then I had started hearing that the documentary had appeared on Netflix, so I watched it and just couldn't believe what I was seeing. So I was like, as I do, please watch it.
So we watched it. So the idea is, what's the guy's name? Billy McFarland?
Billy McFarland, yeah. Scam artist extraordinaire.
Yeah, he sends out a video, and the video is, well, you know what? We'll just play it. This was the promo video that they sent out.
The actual experience exceeds all expectations and is something that's hard to put into words. All these things that may seem big and impossible are not. It gives people that type of energy, that type of power.
And from that, people bought tickets to go down there. And I thought, wow, that's going to be a hell of a...
It's supposed to be something different, luxury, your own private island. They made it seem all sorts of interesting. And the really interesting part was that first-time festivals don't tend to sell out, and this one did.
In 2 days.
Yeah.
Like
done.
that.
Like quick. People were blown away that it sold out.
All right, so it turns out that the luxury hotels and all the bands and all the food and the private jets and the private yachts...
They couldn't do it.
No.
They couldn't do it with the amount of money that they got. I was reading a little more into it. There were some people that bought tickets in advance for just $500 for 2 weeks on a private island. But they had tickets for sale for $250,000 online.
That's if you got the yacht.
No one bought any of those, of course.
What?
I mean, most of the tickets that were bought were $1,200. I mean, you sell out for that price, you couldn't afford to do any of the stuff that was promised for that amount of money.
It's on Netflix. It's called Fire, F-Y-R-E. You have to watch it. And when you watch it, you're going to see... Is it Ja Rule?
Ja Rule.
Oh.
Ja Rule, who is,
He calls himself like a hip hop mogul, but he was just that rapper from like the, early 2000s.
That is 15 minutes, yeah. All right. And so now they're discussing afterwards, hey, people are going to jail. We're out $100 million. Things are bad. And this is them talking about what's going to happen.
We didn't kill anybody. Nobody got hurt. We made a mistake. We'll get past it.
I mean, granted, nobody died, but we did flat out lie to the public about what we're giving them. I mean, that's fraud. And that's not okay, as a company operates.
That's not fraud. That's not fraud. That is, I would call that false advertising.
Scam.
Way better. False advertising.
God, that's scary.
And then nobody there knew that it was a scam except for the people inside it. And so a lot of the people from the Bahamas, a lot of people on those islands, and there's a whole bunch of little islands that are kind of tied together. They thought this was a big boon. It was going to last for 5 years, and it was going to come back next year and the year after. And so they were all trying to do a really good job to make it work so that it would continue year after year.
Yeah.
So this woman's name is Marianne Raleigh, and at the very end, you're going to see her explain how committed she was.
I had 10 persons working directly with me, just preparing food all day and all night, 24 hours. I had to literally pay all those people. I am here as a Bahamian, and they stand in my face every day. I went through about $50,000 of my savings that I could have had for rainy day. And they just wipe it out and never look back. Personally, I don't even like to talk about the Fire Festival. Just take it away and just let me start a new beginning. Because they really, really, really hurt me. I am really hurt from that. To see nobody return to say, let me take care of what she has done. We know she has done right. I just leave it alone because it really pains me when I have to talk about it, so I just wipe it away.
Your heart just breaks for her.
Absolutely, because she was one of the good people that, everybody that worked for her, she fed all the workers, everybody that they had hired and weren't paying, and everybody that worked for her, she made sure she paid.
Because she couldn't look them in the face.
Nope. It's her restaurant. It was her asking for help, and she could not live with herself that way.
Okay. So then because of the popularity of this film on Netflix, Fire, F-Y-R-E,
yeah,
everybody now knows her story.
Yep.
And what happened.
They started a GoFundMe for her, and this is the thing that I love about the world, is they weren't going to let her be out $50,000. It is currently sitting just under $190,000.
Yes.
And that's people donating $5, $10, $5, $12, $5. It's amazing.
There is some kind of poetry in that, is there not?
Absolutely.
All right, that's where we end it.
See ya.
No, Kim Seal. You see, I'm Kim Seal.
Oh, I'm Kim Seal. See ya.
You got to come to rehearsals more often. We got to have rehearsals more often. Who are you?
Elise, bye.
Who are you?
Willie Percy.
See ya.
See ya. That this week is...
What happened?
Stay out.